As I mentioned earlier, we are talking about salvation as we go through Lent. And one of the things we said about salvation when last we met was that salvation was living kingdom values. Salvation was available for us all the time, but we actually obtained it when we lived the values that Jesus taught, when we lived as though the kingdom were here already, because it is. It's a parallel reality, and we can live in the kingdom, which is salvation, or we can live otherwise, which is separation. And in the passage from Mark today, Jesus gives us more instruction on what it is like, or what is required in order to live those kingdom values. Jesus is telling us, and this is the passage, and let me read that to you now, from Mark 8. Jesus began to teach his disciples, "The human one must suffer many things and be rejected by elders, chief priests, and the legal experts, and be killed, and then after 3 days rise from the dead." He said this plainly, but Peter took hold of Jesus and, scolding him, began to correct Jesus. Jesus turned and looked at his disciples and then sternly corrected Peter. "Get behind me, Satan. You're not thinking God's thoughts, but human thoughts." And after calling the crowd together with his disciples, Jesus said to them, "All who want to come after me must say no to themselves, take up their cross and follow me. All who want to save their lives will lose them, but all who lose their lives because of me and because of the good news will save them." Peter had an image of what the Messiah, the Holy One, the Son of God, was supposed to be. And the idea that the Messiah, who he clearly decided and knew Jesus was, that this person was not going to be a triumphant leader, victorious in battle and conquering the Roman Empire, but rather would be persecuted, arrested, beaten, and crucified, was beyond what Peter could possibly understand. And so he said, no, Jesus, you've got it wrong. And Jesus said, "You're not thinking kingdom thoughts. You're not thinking the way God thinks. You're not thinking as someone who has been saved." And then he says, if you are going to get into the kingdom, if you're going to go through that door that's open for you, you have to say no to yourself. Lots of the translations use the word deny. You're going to deny yourself. And I was in that mood this week where I looked up all the Greek and the Hebrew. And the word here for deny is aparneomai. And it actually is a legal term. Hello, my attorney one. It is a legal term. And it means to renounce connection or possession. It is to say, in front of witnesses, that does not belong to me. You know those notices you put in the newspaper? I am no longer responsible for the debts of blah blah. That is what this word means. And what Jesus is saying, first of all here is, if you're going to follow me, you're going to renounce that you are the connection and claim that I am the connection, that God is the connection. And the next step is you're going to pick up your cross. And boy, we have punishing thoughts about picking up the cross. And that has led to thousands, hundreds, millions of martyrs throughout Christendom. But I looked up that word too. And that word is hestime. Hestime. And it's not the crossbeam that we think of. It's not the whole cross. It is actually better translated as a fence post. The vertical fence post stuck in the ground. And what it means is to take one's public stand. So what Jesus is saying, deny that you are in control and publicly take the stand that I am Christ's. I belong to God, and I will follow that way. So it doesn't mean self-sacrifice to the point of killing yourself or having to be killed. It means let go of your control of things and stand firmly in the will of God. This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.